was younger, I never much had use for being part of a team or for teamwork. I think I was pretty well convinced that I could handle whatever needed to be done by myself, and maybe even convinced that other people generally got in the way. I never quite went so far as to hang on the wall one of those signs that said, God so loved the world that he didn't send a committee. But I might have said it a few times when called to serve on a committee. Since then, I think I've learned that teams can be very helpful, that working with others helps offset our weaknesses. As it turns out, it's not just other people, but myself who have limitations that get in the way of the mission that I'm trying to accomplish. And sometimes the strengths that others bring help offset my limitations, and sometimes the support or kindness that another might offer can strengthen me in my own work. I kind of saw that in play in today's gospel. The main characters, of course, are Bartimaeus, the son of fear, and Jesus, the son of David. But they're not in immediate relationship with each other because Jesus has already pulled around him a group of disciples, and he has sent some of them out in mission. And there are more people calling his name than he has hours in the day to attend to, right? And so those limitations, even for Jesus, the Son of God, the Son of David, he chose to work with a group of people. And that group was limited and short-sighted and oftentimes messed up. And their limitations oftentimes got in the way of the mission, right? Like today, when Bartimaeus is calling for help and their best answer is, be quiet. And they probably didn't say it that nicely. But when he continues to call out and Jesus recognizes him, calls him over, they actually perform a very useful service, one that Jesus also couldn't do. They're able to reassure him about the one to whom he goes. It's interesting. Jesus makes him do two things. He makes him come over, which one could expect that if you're working with someone who can't see, it might be easier to go to them where they're sitting beside the road. But Jesus has him come over. And Jesus asks him what he wants. And by himself, maybe he could have done both of those things. Maybe he could have made his way to Jesus by himself, but he didn't have to. There was a whole group of people who helped him, both by showing him the way, but also helped him by saying, you don't have to worry. You don't have to be afraid. He's a good man. Like, he'll take care of you. He's paying attention to you. This is your lucky day, right? And so they bolstered not only his ability to get to Jesus, but also his ability to approach Jesus with faith and to answer the question that maybe he could have answered anyway. But maybe he would have said something less if he hadn't been supported by the crowd around him. And so Jesus asks him, what do you want? And he answers, I want to see. I want to see. And maybe he didn't have time to think about what that meant. The theologians since have, and they point out the difference between having your eyes fixed and being able to see, right? That our sight is more than just that of colors and images. That when a nurse sees a patient, she probably will recognize things, understand things that you or I might not see. That when we say, I see, we don't just mean that we've opened our eyes and have discerned some depth or perception or color. It means we understand. And standing before the Son of God, this man says, I want to see. I want to see, I want to understand. And Jesus helps him to see, and he follows him. And if it was just a story of Bartimaeus and Jesus, it would be a great blessing for us to recognize the ways that Jesus would ask us in our lives, what do you want? And in answering insightfully, we might receive that gift and follow him. But I would suggest that it's also a good time to look around us at the team that has been assembled, that it's a good time to look around us and see where we can count on support, that it's a good time to look around us and see where our own imperfect and limited efforts might be helpful, so that together we can answer that question, what do you want? So that the answer that we give will be meaningful, and so that when we receive the response of Jesus, we'll be able to follow him together. I'm sorry for all the years that I thought I could do it by myself. And I'm grateful for all of the support that I find around me. And I'm so incredibly blessed to be part of a mission that is so much bigger than me, and to work with brothers and sisters who care about that mission, sometimes more than me, and who approach it, yes, with their limitations, like mine, or sometimes unlike mine, so that we complement one another and are able to do better work in the kingdom of God. Especially if you stand beside me in mission. Please know that I'm grateful for your support. I'm grateful for our ability to work together to help one another answer the question, well, what do you want? And to walk together as we follow Jesus.